Hi there, I'm Cher, and this is Diary of a Pen Nerd. So it was my birthday last week, and I am now 20 years old, which is so kind of crazy to me. But for my birthday, I got a couple of things, and I want to show you those things. And then I wanted to go through the pens that I have inked for January and probably February and go through like how I picked them and what my process was. So, first up, the birthday haul. I think this is the biggest thing here on the table. There's a lot of stuff on the table, guys. But I got a pen case. This one is off of Amazon. I've seen a few people who have had it before and they seemed pleased with it. It's about $30-ish, and it opens up, and as you can see, I've got a few pens in here. And then this piece slides out. Or, oh no. Like that. And so I was super duper excited to get something like this. We'll put these tapes back. I was super duper excited to get something like this because right now most of my pens are either just like free floating or in like smaller boxes in a drawer in my desk, and it was getting to be kind of cluttered, kind of overwhelming. So I thought it was time to bite the bullet and find a better storage solution. So I still need to like reorganize and put everything in here that can go in here. But I'm so happy with this, and I think this is going to be so nice to keep at my desk. But I think also if I wanted to like go anywhere and I needed to bring a ton of pens with me, which is not within the foreseeable future, but this is nice, and it's magnetic close. So I am very happy with the first thing that I got. And then I did buy converters. These are the Pilot Con 40, and that's because, and it's here in my pen case, last year I got the Pilot, oh no, the Pilot Kakuno, and the Pilot Kakuno comes with a single black ink cartridge, and I was going to just refill that ink cartridge with a syringe, but then it broke. The cartridge did. So then I had this beautiful pen that I love that I could not use because I could not ink it up. And so I got some converters, and it came in a set of 2. So I think what this means is that I can get another Kaku now. I crack myself up. Anyways, and then the last thing that I got as like part of my birthday present to myself was the Pilot Pereira in the calligraphy nib. I wanted a calligraphy or a stub type nib. I have opened this, but as you can see, I put it all right back the way it came. But this just has, can you see that? A little bit of a thicker flat nib. It doesn't flex. Oh, and the cap is so nice. Like, and this also takes the Con 40. So now I have 3 Con 40s. But haven't inked this up yet, but I'm super excited because I have been wanting a smaller kind of like stub or calligraphy style nib than my Pilot Parallel. Oh, that's not gonna go back. I need to separate it. Because I like the line variation, and I also think that this is super fun for inks that you need to lay down a lot of ink in order to see their best characters. So that's my birthday haul. I thought about buying ink, but I haven't yet. And then we get into, oh, these are from oranges. And then we get into my currently inked for January. And this is my ink journal, which I just set up in January. And I will be doing a tour of this as soon as I get it a little bit more established and filled out. But I was thinking, we're far enough along into this inking of pens that we could do like a written review of them, which is something that I've been wanting to get into more. This is my bullet journal for probably the next 6 months, the first 6 months of the year. And it is the exact same one that I got for the first 6 months of 2025. Took a little tumble. So I've been really enjoying that, but I have all of my inked pens here, and I actually haven't been doing too much like long writing because the majority of my long writing actually takes place in like my daily journal, which I can show you guys. This is my daily journal, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And this was a Christmas gift from my mom, and I am a huge unicorn fan, which is why this was like the most beautiful, perfect gift for me. And it's got this yellowed paper, but this paper does not take fountain pens very well, which you can see if I test it out in the back. So I've been writing mostly with my trusty Pilot G2, which is like my favorite not fountain pen. But that just means that my fountain pens aren't getting as much use as maybe they would if I was using them in my daily journal, which means that I'm going through the ink in them slower, but that's okay because it's giving me a chance to really enjoy them. And I will find some kind of long writing to do with them, because that is just my favorite. I'm going to write this out in my Fude nib because I can get a cool title with it. Currently has 2 R's, right? You can tell I'm a week and a half into the semester and my brain's already fried. All right. And so I guess how we should start this off is that I started with pretty much a blank slate except for this pen. This is my Ferris Wheel Press Blush fountain pen. it is a medium nib, and it has got Diamine One More Sleep in it. Because I can't talk and write at the same time. And so this is the only pen that I carried over from last year. And the reason I did that is because I just felt like I didn't get to enjoy this pairing as much as I wanted to. So I was like, yeah, I'll leave it in. And I do feel like when I'm able to write with this, I go through the converter really fast. And this is a nice writer. I adore the enamel on it. I feel like it feels very nice. It writes nicely. It's a juicy medium nib, so really I was just carrying this over because I wanted more time with this pairing, and I'm enjoying more time with this pairing. So this is where I started with. And then from there, I think the next pen that I inked was maybe my Moonman, or I guess it's Mahjong now technically, I think. And this is a fine nib, and this has Private Reserve DC Super Show Blue in it. And I inked this one up. This is a combination that I've done before, mostly because I know that it's going to be a very solid writer and write well, even on kind of crummy paper. And the thing that I've been using this the most for is actually in my commonplace notebook and for school. So I know that this one gets a lot of use. This is a very solid blue ink, and this is a huge ink capacity, especially for a fine nib. So that was kind of where my thoughts was going with this, was that I wanted just something solid for going back to school, and that's how we ended up with this pen and ink pairing. And then from there, I think I inked up this pen. This is the Jinhao X450. And I got this one for Christmas just last year. So it was new to me. Does it say what size nib this is? No, but it writes decent. So and this one has Noodler's 54th Massachusetts. I can't spell Massachusetts to save my life. So this pen was entirely new to me. I had no idea how it was going to do. And Noodler's 54th Massachusetts is actually not my favorite ink. I find I have problems with it. It looks too flat, it's wet and feathery, but still too dry. It just, like, I want to love it, but I can't. So why I would put a finicky ink into a new to me pen, I'm not sure, but I did it and I really like it. I actually have been very much enjoying this combination, especially in my bullet journal, which was something I never thought would happen. So I'm so glad that whatever possessed me to put Noodler's 54th into this pen happened. And so that was that was how that came along. And then at this point, I was looking at my ink lineup, and I was looking at a lot of blue, and so I wanted to throw in other colors. And so then I came to this one, which is the Asvine P20, and this is also a brand new to me pen because I also got this one for Christmas. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to put in here. Does this one say what size nib it is? Well, I think it says fine, but it writes more like a medium, in my opinion. And this one has J. Urban Posier de Lune in it. I was going back and forth between a couple of different purples for this pen. I settled on Posier de Lune because I really like Posier de Lune. It's probably one of my all-time favorite inks. I got it in 2024 when I was in Germany having the time of my life. And so it's kind of got a special place in my heart there, but also it's just a very beautiful ink. And it's a very well-behaved ink too. So I inked this up, not really sure what to expect because again, this was a new to me pen, but I do really like this pen. It writes very smoothly. It lays down a nice line of ink, which is always what I want. And it works great with this ink too. So that was maybe the next pen I inked up. And from here, I think the next pen was this Jinhao Dadao 9019. This is also a fine nib that I feel writes closer to a medium. And this one has Colorverse Knight of Myrtle in it. Why did I do this? Well, I really just wanted to ink up Knight of Myrtle, and this is one of my favorite pens. So that was kind of my thought process there. I knew I was getting towards the end of how many blues and purples that I could ink up before I lost my mind. In case you're wondering, the cap is double walled, and mine broke in that the outer wall came off and the inner wall was still attached to this gold ring and the threads and everything. So my cap was in two pieces, and what I did is I put Gorilla Glue on it and just stuck it back together, which is why the cap has this weird cloudy inside, but it's functional again, and this is a very cheap pen, so I wasn't super concerned about it. I was like, yeah, I'll just throw that back together, and it's been working great, and I do love this. Knight of Myrtle is sometimes just, can sometimes be a little too light for what I want, but I find it does good in this fine pen. And then, yeah, I was looking at all this and I was like, I need something that's got a different, like a warmth to it. I was trying to figure out what I wanted the color palette overall to be, because I do like to kind of ink my pens in color palettes. So that's when I pulled out my Kaweco Sport in Sweet Mandarin, which has got a broad nib on it. And this is Dominant Industry Arizona Sky Citrus. And this is also a pairing that I've done before, and so I know it works well. And I just eyedropper this, which is why you can see it all moving around in there. I actually don't use silicone grease, but I find I don't usually really have any issues. So I do really like this one, and I felt like that really balanced out my whole like lineup and brought everything together, because I ended up doing a kind of spacey theme in my bullet journal. So I was using all of these for like moons and planets and things, and then this one for stars. And so far that has been working out very nicely in my bullet journal. And then what I did is the very last thing I inked was my, what is this? Wing Sung Classic. Oh. And this is a Fude. And this one is also Diamine One More Sleep. I don't usually do this where I will put the same ink in multiple pens, but I just wanted something that I could use for like headers and things. So that I felt really rounded out my whole currently inked. This is about how many pens I can have inked at any given time before I start feeling really overwhelmed. But I've been having a lot of fun with this, and in my bullet journal, let me see if I can find like this is my 2026 page, and then I can also show you my January page. So that's kind of how I've been using the pens, and I think seeing it like this helps you to see the vision on the color palette too. I'll probably keep all of these pens inked up and probably the same theme through February, just because it's easier, and like I said, I'm not writing with these as much, so I'm going through the ink in them slower, and so I've got more that I can use up in there before I feel the need to switch it out. But I've been having a lot of fun having all of my pens inked up again and being in my bullet journal again after having such a long hiatus. And so I am just having a blast. But that is all that I have for you today. So if you liked it and you want to stick around, be sure and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to let me know down in the comments maybe something that you have inked up currently. That'd be fun. And I will have the next chapter of my story out soon. Bye for now. Love, share.